All right, let's dive in today. We're talking about something super important for folks managing diabetes. Superstar foods.
Superstar foods, yeah.
And get this, we've got an audio clip someone sent us that lists all these foods that supposedly help with diabetes control.
Okay.
Plus, we found this really detailed article on the American Diabetes Association website, the ADA.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to dig into both and see what makes these foods so awesome, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, and by the way, you might be surprised to learn that the term superfood, well, it's a bit misleading when it comes to diabetes.
Yeah, that's a good point. The ADA actually emphasizes that superfood is, well, it's more of a marketing term than an actual scientific thing.
Right, it's catchy, but not always accurate.
Exactly. And the FDA, they do a lot to regulate what health claims can go on those food labels, right? Making
Mhm.
sure everything's backed by science.
So they're really watching out for us, making
Mm.
sure those labels are on the up and up. So if we're not chasing after these, so-called superfoods, what does the ADA actually recommend for folks managing diabetes?
Okay, well, they have this list. They call them superstar foods, which is kind of fun. And these are all backed by research, so you know they're legit. They say these should be the foundation of a healthy meal plan for anyone with diabetes.
Superstar foods, I like it.
Yeah.
So let's break down this superstar lineup. What's first on the list?
Okay, so first up, non-starchy vegetables. They're like the cornerstone of this thing called the diabetes plate method.
Okay, I've heard of the diabetes plate method. Isn't that where you divide your plate into sections for different food groups? Makes it easy to visualize those portions.
Exactly. And non-starchy veggies. They should take up half your plate at every meal. That's how important they are.
Wow, half the plate. All right, so when we say non-starchy vegetables, what exactly are we talking about?
Well, think of things like dark leafy greens. Spinach, collard greens, kale, stuff like that.
Ah, the power greens.
Huh.
Good stuff.
They are super low in calories and carbs, but packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber. They're like nutritional powerhouses.
And you can prepare them in so many ways, too.
So many ways. Thank you.
Saute them, toss them in a salad, or even get a little fancy with a Southern-style preparation. Oh, and don't forget about dips. That's always a fun and easy way to enjoy those leafy greens.
You got it. Dips are great. And you know what else is a pretty unique veggie?
Let me guess. Broccoli.
Good guess, but think a bit more outside the box. Avocado.
Avocado. Wait, a vegetable. I always thought of it as a fruit.
You're right, technically it is a fruit, but it's unique because, unlike most fruits, its nutritional profile is more like a vegetable.
Interesting. So it kind of straddles both worlds. So what makes avocado so special when we're talking about diabetes?
It's all about the healthy fat content. Avocados are packed with those fat-soluble vitamins, and they really help you feel full and satisfied.
Ah, so you stay fuller for longer. That can be really helpful for managing those cravings and blood sugar levels.
Exactly. And they're so versatile, too.
Oh yeah, I love avocado. What are some of your favorite ways to use it?
Avocado toast is a classic, of course. But you can also add it to tuna salad or even mix it with fresh strawberries for a vibrant salad.
Avocado and strawberries. I've never tried that combo, but it sounds delicious. Okay, so we've got our superstar veggies covered. What's next on this amazing list?
Let's move on to another crucial nutrient. Protein.
Yeah, protein. I know it's important, but why is it especially crucial for folks with diabetes?
Well, protein plays a huge role in keeping those blood sugar levels stable after you eat.
Ah, I see. How so?
It basically slows down how fast your body absorbs glucose so you don't get those crazy energy spikes and crashes.
Makes sense. So it's like a buffer for your blood sugar.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And protein should make up about 1/4 of your diabetes plate.
Okay, so half veggies, 1/4 protein. Got it.
Exactly. And in the superstar protein category, we got to talk about beans, dried peas, and legumes.
Yeah, plant-based protein. It's great for everyone, and I love how affordable they are.
Absolutely. We're talking kidney beans, pinto beans, black beans, chickpeas, lentils. The variety is amazing.
So many choices. I usually go for canned beans for convenience, but I've heard dried beans might be a healthier option. What do you think?
Both canned and dried beans are packed with protein and fiber. Canned beans are definitely easier, but with dried beans, you have more control over how much sodium goes in. Plus, you can experiment with different flavors.
That's a good point. So if I'm going for canned, what's the best way to go about it?
Just remember to drain and rinse them to get rid of some of that extra sodium.
Okay, simple enough. Now, what about some fun ways to use these beans, peas, and legumes?
Oh, the possibilities are endless. You can make bean burgers, refreshing chickpea salads, or hearty lentil stews with greens and apples. They're super versatile.
Oh, and I've even seen recipes for bean-based breakfast dishes.
Exactly. They really can fit into any meal.
Hmm, beans for breakfast. I'm intrigued. Okay, so if you've got plant-based protein covered, what other protein sources are on the ADA Superstar list?
Well, another one that's getting a lot of attention lately is fish, especially those rich in omega-3 fatty
Oh
acids.
yeah, fish. They're always talking about omega-3s being good for your heart. How does that connect to diabetes?
Well, omega-3s can help reduce the risk of heart disease and inflammation, which are definitely concerns for folks with diabetes.
So it's like a double whammy of goodness. Got it. So which fish are we talking about here?
Salmon is probably the most well-known, but you've also got herring, sardines, mackerel, trout, and even albacore tuna.
Okay, so lots of options there. What's the healthiest way to prepare them?
Yeah.
I love a good crispy fried fish, but I'm guessing that's not the best way to go.
You got it. Avoid frying. Stick to baking, broiling, or grilling to keep those nutrients intact. And the ADA recommends eating fatty fish at least twice a week.
Twice a week. Noted. So what are some tasty ways to incorporate those fish into our meals?
Oh, so many. Salmon rice bowls are always a hit. Or you could try grilling trout with fresh herbs. And teriyaki tuna is another delicious and easy option.
Those all sound great. Now let's move on to a personal favorite. Nuts. I usually snack on almonds, but I've been hearing a lot about walnuts lately, especially for heart health.
You're right on track. Nuts are packed with healthy fats, magnesium, and fiber.
And they're great for managing hunger pangs, right? Like those afternoon cravings.
Absolutely. And you're right about walnuts. They're an excellent source of those omega-3 fatty acids, just like flax seeds.
Okay, good to know. I'm adding walnuts to my shopping list. But I find that those store-bought nuts can be pretty salty sometimes. Any tips for making healthier choices?
You know, roasting and seasoning your own nuts at home is a great way to control how much salt goes in. Plus, you can get creative with different spices and flavors.
That's a great idea. Much more budget-friendly, too. What about incorporating nuts into meals beyond just snacking?
Oh, there are lots of ways. Trail mix is an easy one for on-the-go snacking. Walnuts add a nice crunch to apple salad. And you can even make a creamy chia seed pudding for a healthy dessert.
Okay, now I'm really getting hungry. Switching gears a bit, what about milk and yogurt? I remember growing up hearing how important milk was for strong bones. Does the EDA still recommend them for folks with diabetes?
Milk and yogurt are definitely superstars when it comes to calcium, which is crucial for bone health.
Right, the classic calcium connection.
Exactly. And many milk and yogurt options are also fortified with vitamin D.
Oh, vitamin D, that's important too, right?
It is. And
Yep.
there's more and more research coming out about how important vitamin D is for overall health.
Interesting. I didn't realize it had such a broad impact. But isn't milk and yogurt kind of high in carbs?
Yeah, they do contain carbohydrates, so it's important to factor them into your meal plan.
Okay, that makes sense. So how do we make sure we're choosing the right milk and yogurt options?
Look for low-fat and low-sugar varieties whenever possible.
Okay, so low fat, low sugar. Got it. What about some creative ways to incorporate them into a diabetes-friendly diet?
Yogurt parfaits with berries and granola are always a delicious and healthy option. And you can even use Greek yogurt for savory dishes like tzatziki sauce. Or add milk to your soups for a creamy texture.
Mm-hmm. Yogurt parfaits and creamy soups, I can get behind that. Okay, so we've got our veggies, protein, and dairy superstars covered. What about carbs? They often get a bad rap, but I know we need to choose the right kinds of carbs.
Exactly. They shouldn't be feared. Carbs are an important source of energy, and they actually should make up the remaining quarter of your diabetes plate.
Okay, so we've got half the plate for veggies, 1/4 for protein, 1/4 for carbs. It all adds up. So which carbs make it onto the ADA superstar list?
Let's start with berries. They're naturally sweet and bursting with antioxidants, making them a great alternative to those processed sweets.
Ah, berries. I knew those would be on there. I love berries, so this is good news. What makes them so special?
Well, for one, they're packed with vitamin C and K, manganese, and potassium. Plus, they're full of fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar levels.
Wow, that's a lot of nutritional goodness packed into those little berries. So besides just snacking on them, how else can we enjoy them?
Oh, lots of ways. You can make berry salsa, add them to your yogurt, or even use them in savory dishes like chicken wraps.
Berry salsa. Now that's something I'd like to try. Okay, what other carb sources should we have on our radar?
Citrus fruits are another fantastic option.
Citrus fruits, like oranges and grapefruit.
Exactly. They're known for their vitamin C, but they also provide fiber, folate, and potassium. And did you know that potassium can be really beneficial for folks with diabetes?
Really? I didn't know that. Tell me more.
Well, potassium can help regulate blood pressure, which is super important for overall health, especially when managing diabetes.
Interesting. I'm learning so much today. But I usually just drink the juice. Doesn't that count?
Well, it's always better to choose the whole fruit over juice.
Ah, okay. Why is that?
When you drink juice, you're missing out on the fiber that you get from the pulp. And fiber helps slow down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, which is important for managing blood sugar levels.
So it's all about that fiber. Got it.
Mhm.
So how can we incorporate whole citrus fruits into our meals?
You can add them to salads, roast them with veggies like Brussels sprouts, or make a winter salad with a mix of citrus segments.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. All right, what about grains? I know whole grains are generally considered healthy, but how do they fit into a diabetes-friendly diet?
Whole grains are an excellent source of vitamins, minerals, and fiber.
Can you give me some specifics?
Sure, we're talking B vitamins, magnesium, iron, manganese, and more. The key is to make sure whole is the first ingredient on the label.
Oh, so it's important to check the ingredient list carefully. Makes sense. What are some examples of whole grains that we could be looking for?
You've got whole oats, quinoa, barley, farro, and whole wheat.
Wow, that's quite a list.
Yeah.
What are some inspiring recipe ideas using those?
You could try cilantro lime quinoa as a side dish, savory oats for breakfast, or an edamame and brown rice salad for lunch.
Those all sound delicious.
Mm.
All right, so we've got a pretty good handle on these superstar foods now. But I have to be honest, sometimes eating healthy can feel a little pricey. Any tips for making this superstar diet more budget-friendly?
Definitely. The ADA has some great advice on that. First, try to shop for produce that's in season.
Okay, that makes sense. In-season produce is usually cheaper and tastier.
Exactly. And when those fruits and veggies are out of season, you can always opt for frozen, canned, or dried options.
Oh, good point. Frozen and canned can be a lifesaver when you're on a budget. But what about all the added sugar and sodium in those?
It's true, you have to be mindful of that. Just be sure to read the labels carefully and choose options with no added sugar or low sodium. And don't forget to rinse those canned veggies to wash away some of the extra sodium.
Good tip. Any other budget-friendly hacks?
When it comes to fish, frozen or canned can be more affordable than fresh. For nuts, look for lower sodium varieties or, as we mentioned earlier, roast them yourself to save money.
Okay, that makes sense. So it sounds like cooking more meals at home is key to saving money.
Absolutely. That way you can control portions, customize flavors, and avoid those restaurant markups. Cooking dry beans, legumes, and whole grains from scratch can really save you money in the long run.
All right, I'm ready to get in the kitchens. Where can we find more information about these superstar foods and some delicious recipes?
The ADA has a fantastic resource called the Diabetes Food Hub. It's packed with free recipes and helpful tips for meal planning and grocery shopping.
Sounds like a one-stop shop for everything diabetes-friendly.
Exactly. And it's all designed to help people manage their diabetes through healthy and delicious food choices.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a lot more empowered after learning about all these superstar foods. It's amazing how much control we have over our health through the choices we make in the kitchen.
Absolutely. It's a journey, and it's all about finding what works for you and enjoying the process.
So, dear listeners, we encourage you to explore the ADA's diabetes plate method further and start experimenting with incorporating these superstar foods into your own meals. Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll get even more practical and explore specific meal ideas and strategies for making those superstar foods work for you.
We'll see you then.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive into superstar foods for diabetes control.
Yeah, we're back.
So last time, we kind of busted that superfood myth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got into all these awesome recommendations from the ADA.
Yeah, all those superstar foods.
Exactly. So now let's get practical. How do we actually use these superstar foods to create delicious meals, every day?
I'm glad you asked because I think a lot of people struggle with that. They know what's healthy, but putting it all together into actual meals, that's the tricky part.
Totally agree. So where do we even start?
Well, remember that diabetes plate method we talked about?
Yeah, the one with the different sections for each food group.
Exactly. It's a super simple but effective way to make sure you're getting the right portions of everything.
Right, so half your plate is filled with those non-starchy veggies we talked about last time.
Exactly.
Okay, half for veggies, got it. What about the other half?
So 1/4 of your plate should be lean protein, and then the other quarter is for those superstar carbohydrates.
Okay, so it's like a blueprint for building a healthy and delicious meal.
It is, and it makes meal planning so much easier.
So let's put that blueprint into action. What are some specific meal ideas using those superstar ingredients?
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's start with breakfast. I usually just have oatmeal, but I'm open to new ideas. What do you think?
Oatmeal is a great foundation, but let's spice things up a bit. Remember those savory Mediterranean oats we mentioned last time?
Oh yeah, those sounded really interesting. Remind me what goes in them.
It's pretty simple. You start with whole grain oats, cooked with water or low-fat milk, just like regular oatmeal.
Okay, that's familiar territory.
Then you add in some chopped tomatoes, cucumbers, and fresh herbs like parsley and mint.
Wow, that's a combo I wouldn't have thought of for breakfast. I usually use those ingredients in salads.
Right. But it works so well in this dish. It's a really refreshing and flavorful way to start your day.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What about protein?
For protein, top it with a dollop of plain Greek yogurt and a sprinkle of feta cheese.
Oh, yum. That sounds delicious.
Mhm.
So you've got your whole grains, veggies, protein, all in one bowl. A complete breakfast.
Exactly. And it's so satisfying and keeps your blood sugar stable.
All right, savory Mediterranean oats. It's officially on my to-do list. Now, what about lunch?
Lunch can be tricky, especially if you're busy.
Yeah, I often find myself grabbing something quick and easy. Salads are my go-to, but they can get kind of boring if you're not careful.
Salads are great, but you gotta get creative. Remember that apple walnut salad we talked about?
Oh yeah, that sounded so good. Light and refreshing, plus that crunch from the walnuts.
It's super easy too. Just sliced apples, walnuts, some baby spinach.
Love that combo of flavors.
And for the dressing, a little olive oil, apple cider vinegar, and a touch of honey or maple syrup for sweetness.
So simple, and a great way to sneak in more veggies.
You got it. And if you need more protein, you can always add some grilled chicken or fish on top.
Okay, so lunch is sorted. Now for the big one, dinner. I feel like that's the hardest meal to plan.
I hear that. It can be tough to come up with new ideas, especially when you're juggling everything else.
Yeah, I tend to get stuck in a rut making the same things over and over.
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
Well, let's venture into the world of beans, peas, and legumes. We talked about lentil stew earlier, but have you ever tried lentil tacos?
Lentil tacos. That sounds pretty adventurous for someone like me who's used to the classic ground beef version, but I'm open to it. What do you think? Could those win over a hardcore meat lover?
Oh, definitely. They're super flavorful and satisfying. You cook the lentils with veggie broth and all your favorite spices.
I love cumin, coriander, and a little chili powder. It's got to have that kick.
Perfect. Once the lentils are cooked, you mash them a bit, warm up some whole wheat tortillas,
I love the smell of toasted tortillas.
and then you just load them up with the lentils, your favorite toppings, salsa, avocado, cilantro.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And it's a great way to get more of those plant-based superstars into my diet.
Exactly. It's fun, flavorful, and good for you.
Lentil tacos, it is.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely going on the menu this week. Now, what about snacks? I get those afternoon cravings that can really throw me off track.
Snacks are so important. They help keep your energy levels up and prevent those blood sugar dips.
But it's easy to reach for sugary, processed stuff when you're feeling hungry.
I know, those cravings can be tough. That's why it's key to have healthy snacks ready to go. Remember those superstar nuts we talked about?
Oh yeah, nuts are my go-to snack.
Mm.
They're super portable and keep me feeling full.
And they're packed with those good fats and protein to keep your blood sugar stable.
Right. A handful of almonds or walnuts is usually enough to tide me over till dinner.
Exactly. Or try a trail mix with your favorite nuts, seeds, and some dried fruit for a little sweetness.
I love trail mix. It's like a party in a bag.
Hmm.
But I know some of them can be loaded with extra sugar.
Yeah, that's why making your own is a great option. You can control the ingredients and make it just how you like it. What about fruit? Do you ever snack on fruit?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
Especially berries. I know they have natural sugar, but I figure they're okay in moderation, right?
you got it. Fruit can definitely be part of a healthy snack plan, especially berries. They're lower in sugar than many other fruits and packed with those antioxidants.
Awesome. I love pairing berries with some plain Greek yogurt for a sweet treat.
That's a great combo. You get the sweetness from the berries, the protein from the yogurt, plus a boost of those beneficial antioxidants.
Feels like a dessert without the guilt. Now, what about when I'm craving something a little more indulgent?
Well, don't forget about those citrus fruits. They can actually be pretty versatile in desserts.
Citrus fruits and desserts. I usually think of those for savory dishes. What do you mean?
You can make a super refreshing citrus salad with a little bit of honey or maple syrup for sweetness. Or if you're craving chocolate, a small piece of dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa can be a good option.
Oh, I do love dark chocolate. Any tips for making that even more diabetes friendly?
You could try pairing it with some almonds or walnuts. The combination of sweet, salty, and crunchy is really satisfying.
Okay, now that's a snack I can get behind. I'm realizing that incorporating these superstar foods doesn't have to be restrictive or boring. It's all about being creative and finding options that you actually enjoy.
That's the key. It's all about making choices that support your health goals without feeling deprived. And what we've talked about are just a few ideas to get you started. The possibilities are endless, so have fun and experiment.
That's great advice. I feel way more confident about my food choices now, but I know this is just the beginning of our culinary adventure. What else is coming up in part 3 of our deep dive?
Well, in part 3, we're going to tackle those tricky social gatherings where there are lots of tempting foods around. We'll also talk about the importance of being kind to yourself and seeking support on your diabetes journey. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive. We've talked about all kinds of superstar foods, how to use them, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, lots of great info.
But there's one thing we haven't touched on yet that I know can be super tricky when you're managing diabetes.
What's that?
Social gatherings.
Yeah. Those can definitely be a challenge.
Holidays, birthdays, potlucks, all those events where there's usually a ton of, well, tempting food.
Right. It's easy to feel a little overwhelmed in those situations.
It used to make me super anxious. I'd worry about feeling deprived or, like I was missing out on the fun.
I get it. It's a common concern. But social gatherings don't have to be a source of stress. It's all about finding what works for you.
Okay, so how do we strike that balance, enjoying ourselves without feeling like we're sacrificing our health goals?
Well, first off, communication is key. Let your host or your friends know about your dietary needs beforehand. Most people are really understanding.
Yeah, you're right. I used to feel awkward about bringing it up, but honestly, folks are usually pretty cool about it. And if it's a potluck, I like to offer to bring a dish that fits into my meal plan.
That's a great strategy. That way you know there's something you can enjoy without having to worry. And you can get creative with those superstar recipes we talked about.
Totally. Those lentil tacos, the apple walnut salad, they'd be a hit at any gathering.
Exactly. No one would even guess they're diabetes friendly. Another thing that really helps is portion control. Those buffets or big spreads of food.
Yeah.
It's easy to overdo it.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. Do you have any tips for staying mindful in those situations?
Start with a smaller plate, take your time, savor each bite, and pay attention to your body's cues. Are you actually full, or are you just eating because the food is there?
That's a good point. Sometimes I eat too fast and then realize later that I'm way too full. I also find that taking breaks between servings helps.
Absolutely. And don't feel pressured to have seconds or thirds if you're already satisfied.
Yeah, I used to feel like I had to clean my plate, especially if someone went to a lot of trouble to cook. But I've learned it's okay to politely decline.
Exactly. Your health comes first. And you can always express your appreciation for the meal without overeating.
So true. But honestly, desserts are my biggest weakness. I have such a sweet tooth. Any tips for navigating those sugary temptations?
Well, remember those superstar berries we talked about?
Uh-huh.
They're a great way to satisfy that sweet craving without all the added sugar.
I do love berries. A little bowl of berries with some whipped cream is my go-to dessert at gatherings.
Perfect. You could also try a fruit salad or a small piece of dark chocolate, like 70% cocoa or higher.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Those are all great options. It's really helpful to have these strategies in mind, especially during those challenging social situations.
Right. And it's important to remember that managing diabetes doesn't mean depriving yourself. It's about making choices that support your health goals while still enjoying life.
I love that. So what about those times when we, slip up? We're all human, after all.
Absolutely. We all have those moments. The key is not to beat yourself up about it.
Right. It happens.
Perfection isn't the goal. Diabetes management is a journey, not a destination. If you overindulge, no worries. Just get back on track with your next meal or snack.
That's so much more helpful than dwelling on the slip-up. And I know there are tons of resources out there for folks who need support, too.
Exactly. The ADA website is amazing. And there are so many online communities where you can connect with others who understand what you're going through.
Yeah, those communities can be so helpful for sharing tips, finding inspiration, and just knowing you're not alone in this.
It makes a huge difference. Knowing you have a support system can really make all the difference in the world.
Well, we've covered a lot in this deep dive. We started with those superstar foods, talked about how to build delicious meals, and even tackled those tricky social gatherings. I hope our listeners feel a little more empowered to manage their diabetes and live their best lives.
Me too. It's all about making those small changes that add up to big results. And remember, it's a journey, not a race.
So true. So, dear listener, what are you taking away from our conversation today? What's resonating with you? What are you excited to try?
Remember, you have the power to make choices that support your health. Keep exploring those superstar foods, find what you enjoy, and don't be afraid to ask for support when you need it.
You've got this. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into superstar foods for diabetes control. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and take good care of yourselves.